Tom Golden Acrylics. This painting by Joseph Conrad,
Right.
I think this guy is the most talented abstract expressionist painter in America, maybe in the world today. And I heard about him from Beth DeWitty. She's on the board of the Whitney.
Right.
She's got the eye. He's already had his first one-man museum show. When I look at this painting, I see the kind of genius like when a 6-year-old plays Mozart in a way you can't teach him. But here's what I like about this, more than what I like about Jackson Pollock and Mark Rothko, because their genius is like a dark, drunken, kind of raging, intense genius. But this guy is full of love and
Gayer.
light.
It's much gayer and lively.
It is. It's much gayer, much more lively. It's much more life affirming. Here's a guy who's got a beautiful artist wife, 2 great young kids, artists and
Well, you
musicians.
know more about him too.
Yeah. This is a guy who goes in the water every day right now in Cape Cod. Every day, he's an athlete. He jumps
Even
in
this time of the year.
This time of the year, he goes in for a dip every single day. But let me ask you, when you look at this and you think about Pollock or Rothko, and what feeling does this give you? Because you know more about those guys from experience than I could ever get from reading them.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, since you brought me over.
Come in close.
When I saw it, okay, I said to myself, the one of the unique aspects of it all is the underlaying and how he worked the paint to get these finishes here. There's a lot of scraping and doing on top of one another. You just didn't lay down paint and you get this, okay? Plus, there's this one section here that I saw, and I said, oh, that's really a lovely figure, okay? Without it being the figure, I just saw this head and a long headdress and something appealing about it. That's about it, okay, that I
You know
can
what?
say.
You touched on something that I've noticed about his work, and great abstract expressionism versus shitty abstract expressionism, which is 98%. This is a story. It has a beginning,
Absolutely.
a middle,
It has a
and
beginning,
an
a
end.
middle, and an end.
It's a composition. This work down here absolutely is connected to that.
Exactly, absolutely. This arena here is truly the centerpiece of this painting. And not that he meant it to be, it is. What can I tell you?
And there's so much
I'm not
action.
familiar with him at all, and it's a very active piece of work.
Very active.
No, you know when he's doing it, okay? There's a great deal of work and also conceptualizing, because when you're talking about Jackson Pollock, the feeling I have about a lot of his work, the first feeling I have is he just went at it. At it. Okay? He happened to have a product that was unique, and he went at it without very much intellectualizing or conceptualizing about it.
And that's like this guy's also like an ultra athlete. And what Pollock did was to go beyond any kind of verbal dialogue in his head,
I
right?
don't think he had anything. I think so.
And when he came to your father and said, "Look, I'm using house paint, oil paint. He said, I can't do this with oil paint." It's, and really, what your father did, helping to create the
Oh, my father was
acrylic-
instrumental in what he did.
if he hadn't done that, because that was where Jackson Pollock was able to take the brakes off and didn't have to spend his time mixing or doing anything.
No.
He could just
Just
attack the
pouring.
idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just pouring. Yeah, absolutely. And similarly, who you mentioned before that you felt similarly about
Rothko. Yeah.
But he was of a different mindset to me, Rothko. Rothko, I actually felt, was more conceptual in terms of the work that he did. I thought.
I think he
More-
was a
more
real
head
thinker. It
I
really-
think so.
Yeah, there was.
That's the
something.
feeling I had.
But also, like Rothko was driven by like pain and depression.
Yeah, no, his own personal characters,
Yeah.
which I wasn't as familiar with when I first saw his work. But when I saw it, I said, "Oh, this guy is more considered. There's an intellectual quality about what he's doing. There isn't just a block of
It's
color."
very intellectual.
Yeah. The whole world is fascinating. I'm just directly to you, lady. Is that from my childhood, from my birth, 1938, my home, my life has been full of paintings. Not photography, not poetry, but paintings. And I've been so fortunate to have that aspect of life, like food, like Elimor, like that, and without realizing what it did, what it does to your being. So, and the residency we have, well, Joe won't know, whenever a new artist comes for the residency, to this day, I'm surprised. Oh shit! I never saw anything exactly like that. But I know it isn't like out of the blue, like they invented a shoe. Is that work that they're doing is related to, and sometime in the Lesko paintings on a cave, it's related to. But without knowing that, it just seems like just something out of the blue. No, there's history without the artist even knowing it. Okay? And the other thing that I frequently say to painters,
I'm not a painter.
No, I know, but to painters, artists, painters,
I married a
is
painter.
that we're so lucky that you live, because you will not stop painting, whether you sell a painting or not, and I benefit from the fact that you can't stop painting. And that's the case with most artists. They sell, that's good. They don't sell, they paint. They got a job, they teach, they sell drugs, they do whatever, they have a wife who makes money. They do